Hello everyone, my name is Naula Khan and today I'm going to discuss about application form for Japanese government scholarship. It is actually the MEXT Embassy scholarship application form. So many people do, many applicant do mistakes there. So in order to reduce your mistakes and the chances of error, I made this video so that you get selected in next scholarship. So let's start with the instructions actually given by the MEXT embassy or the Japanese government. Either you can type or you can write. Both ways are right to do, but I will suggest you to type it because it's editable PDF and you can simply type your application. You can use the Arabic numerals, and then you have to write GS in Western calendar. You have to use proper noun without abbreviations. So let's start by filling the form. So in name, your name is actually divided into three parts: surname, given name, middle name. Surname is actually the last name, given name is the first name, and the middle name in between. So do check your passport or the national identity card. It's mentioned there. So my name is M. Sanullah Khan. So I don't have any middle name. So I will just write M. Sanullah. My last name is Khan. So I don't have any middle name, so I'm just leaving it blank. So let's move to the second part. Gender is my male and I'm single. My nationality is Pakistani, and Japanese nationality, I don't have any. If you have, you can just write it, and then you can have to type the expiry date. Then the photo is recommended to be 4.5 centimeter to 3.5 centimeter, and you can also paste it there in the PDF, or either you can just paste your photo in application form. It should be within 6 months. Don't forget the name and nationality to be written on the back side of the photo. Then you have to write the current complete address of your home. Then you have to write the country. My country is Pakistan. If your country residing in Japan, what is your current visa status? If any sentence or any part is not applicable to you, you can just write it not applicable, but do write it in a complete form. Furthermore, you can also leave it empty as well. The both methods are correct. Now, if it is the address is same as above and before the departure of Japan, so you can just click it same as above. Now come to the other part, that before departure of Japan is outside your home country. They are just mentioning in case before departure of Japan, you are living in another country, then the Japan will not provide you a ticket, airline ticket. So you have to just check it. Yes. Okay. So this is a tricky question, part three. The name of Japanese diplomatic office where you will apply for visa issuance. Many people do mistake there. They just write MEXT Embassy of Japan in Pakistan or India or in Nepal or in Bangladesh. Actually, you have to write the complete address. You can just visit the embassy site. You can see here there are two diplomatic offices in Pakistan. So either I can write the Islamabad one or the other one, which is Karachi, Balochistan, and Quetta. So they have to follow the Karachi one, and the rest of them they also can prefer the Islamabad. So you just copy it and you can just type it here. So I will just type in XYZ. So you have to type MEXT Research Scholarship Application Public Affairs Section Embassy of Japan, and this is you have to type it there. So then you have to write the phone number. I will recommend it. Write it with your country code. My country code is +92. Then you can just write your number XYZ there. You can just write your email which you currently used, and do write an official email that you on which you are active, and you can check it within a 2 days or daily. Then, have you been awarded a Japanese government scholarship in the past? If yes, then you have to write the information on it. Otherwise, you have to just click it no, and then you have to leave it all empty, or you can just write not applicable. You can leave it empty. If you are not filling the above section, so no need to fill these one. So this will also be empty for you. So let's move toward the ninth part or ninth section. Are you applying for any other Japanese government scholarship, including the program? You can just write no, we are not applying to any other. Are you receiving or scheduled to be receiving any scholarship from any organization other than? So we are not going to receive any other scholarship than MEXT because we are interested in MEXT scholarship. If yes, do you understand? You must cancel other. Yes, we are not going to take another scholarship. If you are receiving or applying for other scholarship, please specify the name of the sponsor. So if you are applying for MEXT scholarship and you are not receiving any other scholarship or not going to receive any other scholarship, you can just write not applicable, or you can just leave it empty. Then come to the academic record. This is the most important part where where applicants choose the mistake. So primary education, lower secondary education, upper secondary education, tertiary education, undergraduate level. This is quite clear that this is going to be the undergraduate. This is the graduate one, and the above one is going to the PhD, higher education, actually. So this is for PhD, this is for master, and this is going to be for undergraduate. And so these three are a little bit confusing for all of you. So in primary education, the first 5 years will be counted in your primary education. So your 1 class to 5 year will be the primary, and the 6 to I would say 10 is going to be your lower secondary, and the further intermediate part will be considered as your upper secondary. And after completion of 12 years, if you are applying for undergraduate, then your profile will be completed up to this. However, if you are applying for master degree, then you have to include the undergraduate level, which is from 12 or 16 year of education. So be careful that your sum should be 16 if you are applying for master. If you're applying for PhD, then it should be 18. If you're applying for undergraduate, then it should be 12. So questions come if you are in a final year, then you can write it that you are in the final year, but there is a section clearly mentioned that expected to be graduated. So you should write it for, but you should write it expected to be graduated if you are going. So if I'm applying for the master degree, I will write a 16. If I'm applying for the PhD, then I will fill up to this part, and my sum will be 18. So I'm applying for master. Okay. So remarks in this is very important section, and most of the applicants do not fill it. So remarks is actually that you have to indicate the awards and the successes you got through this. So I was the gold medalist in bachelor's, so I just write gold medalist or 2 gold medals in uh, bachelor degree. So you can just write it. Similar in the case of secondary education, if you have any other achievement, you can just mention there in the remarks. So it's better to include your awards or important things that you think that can help you to win that scholarship. Do mention this. Then comes to the 12th part. This is the field of specialization studied in the past. Be as detailed and specific as possible. They wanted to indicate that you have to be comprehensive, you have to be brief, and in a concise way explain it. So actually, they wanted to ask you what you have studied in your, if you are applying for master degree, especially that what you have studied in the bachelor's degree. So you just include that you have done your bachelor's in, for example, my bachelor's is in urban planning or city energy planning. So I have done bachelor's in this. These were the major subjects that I have studied. My research interest was this. This field is actually this. So this is actually in a 4 to 5 sentences. You have to complete that. Have you ever written a thesis? Yes. Then you have to write the name of the thesis or the title of the thesis. And the mistake applicants do that they don't write it proper, actually the title same as they have done the thesis. So don't actually forgot to write exact title that you have done in your thesis. So just check your thesis, then write the name of your thesis. If it is not published, then you have to write your thesis name. Furthermore, the first course you plan to take in Japan. This is very important that if I'm applying for master degree program, so I will just check with the master degree program. Furthermore, I can click on doctoral program. If I'm going as a research student first, so then non-degree. So I will recommend you, if you're applying for the master degree, then the master, then professional. Preferred month of arrival in Japan. Actually, through embassy track, they have two intakes. One is April intake, and the second one is September October intake. So it's better if you can adopt or you can apply to both. You can just ask that I both are okay for me, acceptable to me. I can either come to the in April, and I can also come in September, October. Term you wish to study in Japan. So many students check on this that I wanted to complete up to my master degree. You can also click on up to the completion of. You can also check up to the completion of doctoral program. That's going to be those students who are interested to apply for a master leading to PhD. Then they should select up to the completion of doctoral program. If you're only wanted to do master there, just click on or check this box up to the completion of master degree program. Do you currently have a job? If yes, then you have to write the name of organization. Otherwise, if you're checking it no, then you don't have to write the organization. So employment records. This is a very important part, and if you can see, they have indicated that what you can include two most recent employment, excluding volunteers and part-time work. This means if you have not done any employment work, then don't include volunteers and part-time work. So if it is part-time work, then don't. Now the question is whether we can include the internships or not. If you have done full-time internship work, then you can include these. But if you have done in part-time, then don't include, as they have clearly mentioned that you don't have to include this. You have to write the period of employment, their position as an internee, for example, and type of work there. So what you have to write the type of work. Don't write this. I have done this. I have done this. The major job description or JDs we have. So just type these. So I will recommend you to write both or try to fill this so that they can see that with your good academic background, you are also strong in the experience in the practical life. So after your CGPA, your research background, your experience in the field, the most important part of your application is this section. Motivation for studying in Japan. Why you prefer Japan for your higher education? This is very important section. So first question they are asking is that what was the trigger for having an interest in Japan? So let me tell you few tips how you can do this part. So actually they wanted to know why you actually select Japan for master or PhD degree. What was the trigger? What actually inspired you to apply? So I can say that you can indicate, like for my case, I have written in my application that in my childhood, I came to know that Japan was very famous in different electronics. Like I know about the bullet train is very famous. I know that the technology they have infrastructure very well. Their research is very good. These are the things that you can mention that inspire me. That the things of Japan, electronic things don't get, they last for long, and you can mention multiple reasons there. So, how actually you have to write it comprehensively or concisely? I will recommend you first make bullet points that what inspire you actually. Everyone has different inspiration. For me, it was my childhood when I came to know about Japan that they have a bullet trains, they have different electronics, they have Disneyland in Japan, they have very good Japanese culture, they have Japanese gardens. for architecture point of view. So they have multiple things that you can first write it in bullet form and then explain it. So this is how you are going to deal with this question. So this is what this question was asking for. Let's move to the next question. Why do you choose Japan as a destination to study graduate level education? Now, this question seems similar, but it is actually not. Why actually you choose this level of education? Where you have to particularly focus on the education of Japan. That it is the education of Japan that inspired me. It was the university's ranking that inspired me. It was the professor experience and the researches that motivate me to apply to this university. These are the factors that do. Similar advice, make it a bullet form and then go with a paragraph. What kind of thing do you think you can contribute to Japan and your home country? This is the most important part of your application. Most important part of your application. Because they are giving you fully funded scholarship. So in by providing you this scholarship, they are also looking for what you can provide to, what you can contribute to Japan. So, for example, let me give you one example of mine. So, if I am a environmental engineer, so I will write, I can devise such policies that can improve the environment. If in Japan is, for example, actually Japan is not facing the environmental pollutions, but in case if it is facing, I will try to create some policies that will help, or some factors that can help in improving the air quality. And then how you can help provide your services in your home country. Then you can say, after completing my uh, bachelor's or master from there, I can go to my home country and conserve the education sector and can teaches my research. This is the multiple way. So I'm saying these are the most important questions that the other the actually the people or the staff who is going to check your document will review this. So be careful in filling this. Now come to this part, language ability. So this is a very important part. You can say this is self-rate on a scale 3 to 0. 3 mean excellent, 2 mean good, 1 mean fair, 0 mean poor. Japanese, you don't have any, if so you can write 0 there. In English, if you are good in reading, you can write 3. For example, writing 3, speaking 3, and listening 3. So you can just write 2. So you can score like this. If you have any other language, you can just write this. Japanese language qualification. So if you don't have any, just leave it empty. English language qualification, if you have given IELTS, IPT, if you other, you can write English proficiency certificate. So what actually English proficiency certificate is, actually you can ask your university that your level of medium of instruction in your university was English, and the papers they have conducted and all the mode of communication was English. So they will just create it. This is going to be the English proficiency certificate issued by your university, and that will work as an English language qualification. Then you have to write the accompanying dependents provide the following if you plan to bring and family members to Japan. So you can just write it in case you are bringing to them. Now, in case of emergency, because you are moving to another country, so you might face some problem, or you have might face an emergency. So they need this someone whom they can contact. So you can either write your name of father, you can write the name of your siblings, your current address. Don't forget to write the number without country code, email, occupation, and the relationship. If you have any past visits or stays in Japan, you can just list down there. Then application signature. There are two ways to do it. Either you can add your e-signature online signature, or you can, after filling the whole application, you can just do your signature on that. Just write your uh, date of application. This is how you can fill this application form. I hope you like my video. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. I did my best to indicate all the point you have to do there. So best of luck for next embassy track scholarship or Japanese government scholarship. Thank you so much for joining.